I think Dave can put this away. Ireland are through to the quarter-finals of the World Cup. He steps up and it's in the back of the net. Oh, yeah! Rome, here we come.
And it's Ireland's day. Yeah! 61 years of waiting. How sweet this moment is.
Easy, onto it comes Hope. And Hope with a shot, and it's...
This is 92.5 Phoenix FM. I'm Gary Stewart.
And I'm Chris Melia.
And this is NSC Live, your weekly sports show from the National Sports Campus.
So, coming up in this week's show, our focus on sport is physio and sport. And we'll also have an internal Big Ten mashup with the team in the studio.
Superb. So, Chris, another good week for you.
Yeah, great week in sport. What have you got going on? The IPC championships are still going on in Swansea. We had Michael McKilloch got a gold medal in the 800 metres, and also we had Jason Smith 100 metres in the gold, absolutely stormed it. And then just yesterday we also had Orla Barry who got a silver at the discus.
All right, so we're doing all right then. Ireland are doing all right, I should say.
Yeah, you're behind the team now. That's what we want.
I've always been behind the team.
So yeah, that's the IPC. Tipperary beat Cork in the All-Ireland semi.
Yeah, I watched a bit of that. 10 points, was it?
Yeah. I called that myself. Everyone thought Cork would do it, but
I like the Tip lads. Good hurlers down in Tip.
Good solid county for
That's
hurling.
What I know about GAA sports there in one sentence.
What else have we got? Martin O'Neill announced a squad for our games against Georgia, which is a qualifier, and a friendly against Oman as well coming up next week. No changes there to the squad.
And the ladies team won during the week, didn't they beat Slovakia? Was it Slovakia?
That's right, yeah. I think they're
down in Tala.
A couple of points behind with 3 or 4 games to go now.
Yeah, so they're still in the race to qualify for the World Cup. Sue's team train up at the National Sports Campus, so we see them on a Friday evening, putting them through the paces. It's good to see.
Best luck to them for the rest of the group. And then so there was a bit of a debacle in Dalymount over the pitch. Did you see that at all, Gary?
What was that? Sorry.
League of Ireland. We had one of the big games called off. Shamrock Rovers against Bohemians.
All right.
Problem with the pitch, basically a big hole on the penalty spot. Yeah.
What came from where?
Just from wear and tear of the pitch, really. So it had been flagged on the Friday before, and Tomas Connolly, the referee, called it off then on I think it was Monday or Tuesday night cup game. Right. So yeah, a bit of controversy over that one. It was sold out as well. So if you get a chance, have a look and see what you think.
I will do. Yeah, as a former referee myself, I'll.
Yeah, you might throw a bit of input. See what you. Have you ever come across anything like that before?
Not like that, no. But a few games called off. I think mainly teams just protesting about how poor I was as a referee, but never kind of like for a pitch incident. I had one game called off for a 36-man brawl right on half time. Yeah.
How many man brawl?
About 36. It started off, the linesman was fighting with the captain, and then everyone piled in, and they were all in the bushes. It was just ridiculous. Like there was just supporters piled in, and it was unbelievable. Yeah, never done anything like it. Connor would have been a fan with his UFC.
No, it sounds more like WWE.
WWE,
like a Royal Rumble there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Right, so enough of us rambling about absolutely nothing whatsoever. Our focus on sport this week is a focus on sports physio, and we are delighted to be joined in the studio by fellow NSC team member Lorraine Murray. How's it going, Lorraine?
It's going great.
Welcome, Lorraine.
Tell us a little bit about your role at the sports campus and the Tone Zone gym.
Well, I'm a gym instructor in Tone Zone. I am here 2 years there in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You've done well to last this long.
I have, yeah.
And then also as well, so you do a bit of physio on the side.
I do physio on the side, yeah. My degree is in athletic therapy and training. So basically it's sports physio. So it's kind of hard to get a full-time job in physio because it's kind of very seasonal when you're working with teams.
Yeah.
So it's good to be able to do that on the side as well as my full-time job as gym instruction as well.
So a physiotherapist is slightly different than what did you say?
Athletic therapist.
Yeah. What's kind of like the main difference?
The main difference is physiotherapists. Their degree is very broad based. It's a lot more hospitalised or clinical, for a better word. They can work with cardiology, respiratory, all the type of patients, as well as sport and injuries. Thumb injuries, maybe. Yeah. Have you seen a physio or an athletic therapist, Gary?
I don't think I quite count as athletic therapist. Okay. Never mind. Occupational therapist. I think I've got an appointment for in a couple of weeks. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, sorry to interrupt.
So
that's the main.
That's
kind
the
of
main difference, yeah.
All right, sweet. So why did you go down the athletic sports route? What
I went down that route because I kind of wanted to work with people who were athletic or kind of in a sporting field more so than maybe a cardiology patient who had a heart attack and they need to get back to fitness from there. I kind of want to work with more kind of the younger population.
All right. Okay. So is that because
at the time
did you grow up kind of being sporty? Did you play any sports when you were
I
younger?
played football when I was younger.
Right. Is that
back at home.
Football or football?
It's Gaelic football.
Gaelic football. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Not the
clarifying.
soccer.
Right. Not the soccer.
Real football.
So,
Real football. Yeah.
That's all right. So where are you from, Lauren?
I'm from Leitrim.
Leitrim. Where's Leitrim? I've never heard of it.
Leitrim is in the northwest. It's upside Sligo, behind Longford.
All right. Okay, up behind Sligo.
In between Sligo, Longford, Cavan.
Is that near? What's the show called? Moonboy. Is that up that way?
Yeah. Well, he's from Boyle.
Boyle. Yeah, that is Roscommon.
Roscommon. Yeah.
That's how I know my Irish geography. But pretty much by the map on Moonboy at the start. Yeah. Sweet, happy days.
Yeah.
We're getting there in the geography, Gary. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning. Yeah.
I'm just going to go back to the physical therapist physio end of things. There seems to be, certainly from my experience, a little bit of a divide between both, and a little bit of a power struggle as such. Would you agree?
Even a little bit of controversy, probably. There is big time. I think the physios, the chartered physiotherapists, they really got into the niche of the GAA even more so. You'll find that the GAA don't pay out even insurance unless their players are treated by a chartered physiotherapist. So that automatically takes the athletic therapist, the physical therapist out of the picture already.
Out of the scene, okay.
Yeah. So
apart from that red tape end of it, then, what would be the difference in the work you do? So why would the physiotherapist, fit the bill, and a physical therapist wouldn't?
Really, the physical therapist, I think, their teaching is all on anatomy and the rehabilitation. So I think they are actually probably more suited to the type of injuries that would come from sporting games or whatever you want to call it like that.
Yeah, exactly. So would you say it's pretty much just red tape then why the physios are getting the nod at the moment?
I think so, yeah. I think there probably is a perception that the chartered physios are more educated maybe than the physical therapists. I've often heard people like, oh sure, she's only a physical therapist, she's only done 2 years in such a place, whereas the physio may have done their 4 years in DCU or UCD, wherever it may be. But that's not to say that they don't know what they're on about either.
Certainly from my experience, my understanding of it is a physical therapist would be more hands-on, and a physiotherapist would not be.
Yeah.
Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that'd be fair to say, I think, yeah. I think physical therapists would have a broader understanding of the actual rehabilitation, as you said, manual therapy, more so than the physiotherapist.
Right.
In my experience. I know from my degree, we had 4 years, it was a 4-year course, and so is physiotherapy. Yeah. But our course was solely based on sports. Everything we learned through injury or anatomy was all tailored around sport and injuries or, sport and performance or things like that. Whereas physiotherapy would focus a lot more on maybe, physiology of the body and cardiology.
More of a
and that kind of
holistic
stuff. Yeah,
approach.
exactly.
So it's broader, whereas the athletic kind of therapist is more specialised.
More specialised,
so
that's
maybe,
the word.
The niche opportunities there and things like that.
Yeah.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I didn't realise there was a difference, to be honest.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah,
There's a skill there, yeah.
I think as we see what we talk about often about strength and conditioning, sports science, and everything evolving in sports so much. I think the medicalised end of it has as well, but maybe the administrative end and the red tape end hasn't.
Yeah.
So that could be leaving
exactly
the situation the way it is now at the moment. But I'm sure we'll see that evolve in time.
Well, let's hope so.
So we touched on your education there. Where did you study at?
I studied at DCU.
DCU, all right, excellent. And so did you go straight from your leaving cert into college?
I did, yeah. I did.
And what were your leaving cert points?
I can't
Can you tell us?
that.
You can't.
No.
No, you can't count that. Okay, we'll leave that one alone.
Let's just say
very personal question there, Gary.
Personal questions. Yeah, I don't know. Is it? Yeah, well, no.
It's 490 plus.
490 plus.
Yeah.
Wow, well, no, that's quite good, is it?
That's not personal when you get that.
Is that bigger than you guys? Yeah.
She bet me by about 90.
And what about the degree?
My degree?
Yeah.
It was an honours degree.
An honours degree.
Yeah.
What did you get in that?
Oh, I think they call it a Desmond.
A Desmond,
maybe.
What's
But our listeners might know what that means, so let's just leave it at that.
Oh, right, okay,
Yeah.
Desmond. All right. Never mind. Happy days. So you mentioned that you're obviously an athletic therapist. What teams do you work with?
I currently work with Dublin Camogie,
Right.
our junior premier team, who, may I say, is out in the semi-final this Sunday in Athy in Kildare at 4 p.m. Just get the plug out there. We're playing
the Dubs.
Up the Dubs, yeah. I currently work with them. I'm also working kind of lead, I suppose, for Roy Brennan, who's a physio in town, and he works out in Parnell's. And he's a lot of clubs underneath him. So if he's ever stuck for games or that, he gets in contact with me and I can do pitch side then. Physio. So that's pretty cool.
So did you ever get any stick from the crowd when you run on with your little kit bag and things like that?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm still waiting for that day on a rainy day to slip and fall and maybe
See, it's gonna
land
happen.
on the poor player
it's
on
gonna
the
happen.
on the
Yeah,
pitch.
yeah.
It happens to us.
Funny you say that. Actually, I worked with Roy a couple of times.
Yeah.
And he gets done up by normal physio to have a bag. He was like Inspector Gadget. He had like 2 bags. He had packs and bum bags, and you know, and I'm sure he's used to the GAA matches all right, but this was a League of Ireland match, and you need a referee to call you on first, you know.
Okay, yeah.
So the player went down, and Roy pretty much ran on and nearly got himself sent off. But you know, he knows the stuff though.
Yeah,
he knows the stuff. He's a quality physio.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you learn a lot from those games? Have you kind of what's the kind of most freakiest injury that you've come across?
The freakiest injury. I probably have had a few. I remember my very first time physio in a game. You know, you're obviously nervous, and it was a fellas game, so I was obviously getting stick and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, was on the pitch side. I'd say we're probably only 10 minutes into the game, and one of the guys in our team goes down, and I go running out, and all I see is blood coming from his mouth. And so he had split his lip in two, and like there was half it just hanging off there. I was like, oh God, what do I do?
A right pew.
Here. And then there was another one that was pretty cool, where in training, one of the guys went into a tackle and he bit his tongue. And when he came up to me, you could literally put your finger through his tongue.
Oh.
There was a big hole in the centre of it. So I was like, okay, obviously I'm going to send you to casualty. But by the time he had reached casualty, it had actually sutured together itself.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, isn't it pretty cool?
Amazing.
Well, when I came in with my thumb injury into work the next day, it was kind of pointing out at right angles, and everyone was like, oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Lorraine was like, that's
Class,
cool.
Yeah. I love all that kind of stuff.
Took a step back and all,
She's often come into the gym on a Monday morning and says, look at this, and I have a great one for you, you know, look at this, and there'll be an ankle facing this way or an arm facing that way.
So
I could have a poor player on the pitch like in agony and bring him into the dressing rooms, and then I'm out with the iPhone taking pictures. He's there in agony. I was like, I need this for my album.
Yeah, so you don't get queasy then. I mean, that must be a key quality for a decent athletic therapist.
I guess it is, yeah. No, I don't really ever get queasy. No.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. That's smart. You know, just on the injury end of things, just going to change to a more serious note here. Particularly, it's been in the media recently as well. It's about head injuries. And exactly, you know, where you stand and where the physio or the team doctor or the manager stands and who should make the call.
Yeah.
What do you think? Have you come across that first yourself?
I have to say I'm really fortunate with managers and coaches that I've worked with. They've always taken on board whatever decisions I have to make and stand by me. But I have seen or I have heard of incidents where I'm sure people have heard about the young boy up in, was it Donegal? It was one of the northern counties anyway. And during the game, he received concussion, say, in the first half. And during the half time, the coach really wanted him to play. He was a young person, it was only a school game. And he was obviously a valued member of the team, and they needed him for the second half. He went on the second half and got another blow to the head and continued, finished out the full game. And later on began to get symptoms of concussion, was referred to hospital. And as a result, I think later on he passed away.
Really, yeah.
For traumatic injury to the brain. So it's huge, like, and people don't realise. Like I've seen concussion before. I've seen where a girl went into a tackle and she came out and she was on the ground and she got up and this girl would never say boo to a fly, and all of a sudden she jumps up and wants to kill the person that was after hitting into her. And like, why would you do such a thing to me, and wanted to hit her, like, you know, which is, it's crazy the impact it can have on a person. Yeah.
Even though I remember watching it in the World Cup as well. I can't remember who, maybe in Colombia.
Yeah.
Was that right? And one of the lads went down. He was out. He came around, physio or the doctor.
It was the Germany game. Was it? He'd only been on for. The player went off in the warm up and he come on, and then he was only on for about 24, 25
Is that right?
minutes.
Yeah, I remember he was well into the heat of the game though. And the team doctor was waving down to the touchline into the dugouts, saying no. He's just, by the way, I'm waving my hands here, not that anyone else can see them. But, the team doctor was waving no, saying, you know, he can't go on anymore, and the player absolutely went through him. The team doctor stopped in his tracks and didn't know what to do there on in, So it really has to be sort of clarified as well on where they stand. Lorraine, being a local station, and we have a lot of local listeners in the sports scene, what advice would you give them if they had any players that had a head injury in one of the games?
To the coaches and management.
Yeah, to the coaches.
To never ever take a risk or a chance. If there's any inclination, or even if you see the tackle where the player has made head contact with an opponent or the floor, the ground, anything, don't take the risk. Take them off, even though they may not show symptoms there and then. Even simple things like confusion or blurred vision. It's just not worth it. Take them off. You don't know, they could go on, they could be okay and they could go on and play and receive another blow that would totally then just finish them. So never ever take the chance. If there's a head injury or a head blow, take them off. And
for the player then, let's say if they got a knock on the head, and even if they are taken off, what should they look out for later on that day and even the next
confusion, like I would always, like, as if you suspect concussion in a player and you're walking off the pitch, I would always say, even walking off the pitch, I want you to remember these 3 words, and it could be simple like dog, cat, house, and then you ask them a couple of minutes later, can you repeat the words I just said, and they may not even remember that you told them.
Dog, cow, frog.
Yeah.
No, is that right?
You can cuss, Gary, too.
I think just generally confused.
You get a blow to the head today.
There's actually a great film I've seen recently on Netflix called Head Games, and it's about an American football player and a former WWE wrestler, and he was taken off the roster in WWE because he just got too many concussions, and he just followed the history and the various people that have, like, there's been suicides from head injuries after sport, like, and it's just all been linked now through concussions now.
I even saw a YouTube video last night. Steve Gleason, he was an NFL player over in the States, and there's a documentary, I know everyone's on about the Ice Bucket Challenge for ALS and all that kind of stuff, but it was showing awareness for that. But he developed ALS and he's only 36 now, and within a year, it's crazy, he went from being a normal healthy player to literally not being able to physically walk and barely talk. And they're saying that he said that he was in his whole career knocked out 2 or 3 times completely, and he said he couldn't even count the amount of times he had head injuries or head blows. And the doctors are saying that this could have a huge impact on getting brain injuries down the line.
It's a fair serious matter.
Yeah, it's very serious.
And the NFL were fighting a class action against them a few years back. Lots of old former players had collectively sued them for not for not providing enough information about concussion and head injuries, or not enough the correct safety equipment and things like that.
They were even suggesting, I've seen that as well, they've seen on the NFL, they were suggesting bringing back in the old leather helmets, because people with the hard helmets, they go a lot harder into their tackle because they have that, but your brain is just suspended in liquid, like it just gets bounced around. So they're saying people would be a lot more careful if they had the leather heads, the old helmets, the strap-on ones, that
almost kind of like the
rugby
boxer wear.
The rugby ones that they usually wear.
But you find like those players actually go out intentionally to head hit
and
someone else, which is crazy. Like,
and you never see any other game like where they'd celebrate just flattening the guy in the ground and high-fiving each other.
And then they even headbutt each other to celebrate. Like, it's crazy. It's nuts.
They have to look at that.
The awareness definitely needs to be.
There's the main assessment test for concussion is called the SCAT test. And basically it's just like, you're testing your memory, you're testing your concentration, all the different things like that. But I know in the rugby league anyway, or the rugby union, they have, a SCAT test for pre-season for all the players, so that if they do sustain a concussion throughout their season, they have their initial results to go by, to repeat
got
the
a
SCAT
baseline
test.
to
Exactly,
measure
a baseline. And I've heard that some of the players will intentionally take a bad score, so that if they do have to get retested, that there won't be that bad of a difference, and so that they can continue to play. So there's loads of different things.
Anything for the medals, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So you've been in the dressing rooms. I remember we've had physios and physical therapists over the years on work experience, and they knew the textbook end of it, but they didn't really know which end of the dressing room to stand in, or how to deal with a player at half time who needs attention, who just wants to get back out onto the pitch. How'd you find the dressing room yourself, and the banter end of it as well?
I get on pretty well. I think you do have to bounce off them. I mean, and I do think, especially if it's the lads that you're going into a dressing room, it's a fella's game and they don't know who you are, they will test the waters. They will try and put out a few a few gags there, and you just have to be ready for it and give it back as good as you get. But no, the banter is good. And then look, when it's into a game, they just get into game mode, and they're more focused on the game than who's there on the physio table as well. So no, I find it okay. I get on pretty well.
No different to the Tone Zone team, so.
No, not really.
Great. No, I think that's been really kind of insightful. I think, if you're going to take anything away, listeners, from this, certainly, the tip there about the concussion and the head injury, just when you're walking off the pitch, just those 3 words, I think. Yeah. You probably won't realise how valuable that is until it's too late, Just exactly. If you don't remember one thing,
just the main signs to look for would be any confusion after a game. It may only develop hours later. Nausea is another big one. Yep. Vision, if your vision is impaired in any way, blurred, different things like that. Headaches is another thing as well. But if that's pretty normal to happen or occur for maybe a couple of hours after the game. But if you're pushing into the next day and you're still having those symptoms, definitely go and get checked out.
So it seems like there can be a fair bit of responsibility on your shoulder. So as a physical therapist, would you advise people to get involved in it? What would your sort of view be?
In physiotherapy?
Yeah, or physical therapy or athletic training therapy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you have an interest in sport and you have an inclination that you want to help people, then I'd definitely go for it. And you mentioned, not being kind of weary of blood or of like crazy injuries with like broken legs, with the leg maybe coming out of through the skin or anything. I think you have to have a bit of that as well.
It's not a job for me.
I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I'd definitely recommend it for people that would want to get into that line.
Great.
Super, good stuff. Lorraine, thanks for coming in. It's been great to chat to you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you're going to hang around, I think, to the end of the show.
Yeah, defo. Yeah.
Quiz you on a few other things as well.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Brilliant.
Right, okay, now it's time for our weekly Big Ten, and we've got a bit of a special mashup this week with all the team. So over to Connor.
Yep, as you said, Gary, you're just going to mash it up, do a Big Ten Connor's question here today. So it's the usual question that we have every week. Is what is your most embarrassing sporting moment in your sporting career? Well, I don't
have to pick that one first, wouldn't you?
Yeah. That's the juicy one,
You just know we've got plenty of them.
Yeah.
Most embarrassing sporting moment. Who's going? Chris, you're going first.
All right. Well, mine is I have one that sticks in the memory. Once I was playing a football tournament, a 5-a-side actually. It was out in, I think it was 3rd Euro at the time. But basically, I went in for a tackle, and the ball bubbled up between myself and the defender. Big clash. I actually got knocked out. Funny enough, we happened to be talking about it.
Yeah.
Just for a few seconds, woke up, the ball was in the back of the net. I had actually scored. So I woke up with the players over me celebrating. I thought they were trying to help me, but on account of the knockout and the 50-50 tackle that I won, balls in the back of the net. So super. Embarrassing, but good.
And is that the only goal you've ever scored?
That was the only. Yeah, I wasn't even conscious for the only goal I ever got. So there you go.
What about you, Lorraine?
My most embarrassing sporting moment, I'll have to say it's kind of got to do with physio as well. I was done my placement over in the States with American football, and over there, the way they do like time out for water, and it was like the equivalent of like cup of tea. It was the equivalent of like the All Ireland here. It was one of the biggest games, and it was the last couple of seconds, and everyone on the sidelines going crazy, and they're coming up towards touchdown, and I was on water at this stage, and I thought that the ref called time out, as in for me to run on with water, but he didn't. And so I go running onto the pitch in the middle of the game. And like there's big crowds at these games, like for college ones. And the next thing he was looking at me going, "What are you doing?" And then I just stood like real awkwardly, kind of in a dance, looking over at the sideline, looking at him, like, and the crowd started going, "Get off the pitch, get off the pitch." And I'm like running off the pitch. The coach nearly killed me. It was pretty embarrassing, yeah.
Nice, good stuff.
Guys, yourself?
That's all it's me. I can't actually remember this, but there's video evidence at home. My dad's got the VHS from like 1993 or something. Junior mini rugby, under 9s rugby league for the Woolly-Backs, Millom. Playing against a team from Barrow. This guy runs past everyone, beats the last man for the other team, scores a try under the posts, runs off celebrating. I think it was a cup semi-final or something. Runs past me with his arm in the air. So what do I decide to do? Just kick him right in the knees. In a big strop, kind of only single child, kind of, having a bit of a stinker, bottom lip down. Yeah, just kicked him as hard as I could, and he fell over, and it's recorded forever on VHS. So, and then next minute, I think you have my dad kind of storming on the pitch, telling me off, and
yeah. So did you get sent off or anything?
I don't think they did red cards in under.
Not even for that?
No, I don't know. I think the ref just had sympathy. I think it was about 65-0 or something at the time. So.
It sounds like a video of the week for you being framed or something.
Yeah, could have made 250 quid out of it.
Yeah, you should have.
Connor, do you have one yourself?
Oh no, my sporting career isn't that long. Probably up until I was about 12. But I distinctly remember getting I think it was a goal kick, and I was a halfback or fullback all the way back, and just standing too close, and the ball cleaned me in the back of the head and went straight into the goal. So.
But the goalie kicked it out, hit you in the back.
Yeah, I was obviously looking forward. I get flat into the ground, and the ball just trickles into the back of the net. And
genius.
And everyone's just cheering. And I was like, "Oh, what have I done?" No, it was the other team.
3 points as well.
3 points, yeah.
That's good. Connor, actually, I heard you were seeing in a me jersey. That might qualify as being an embarrassing sport moment, no?
Them's fighting words.
You mentioned you're from Leitrim, was it?
Yep.
What are they like in the world of Gaelic?
We're doing okay. The girls are probably doing a lot better than the fellas at the minute.
Are they?
But yeah.
That's very bad.
We're just wondering. Yeah, I'm just still trying to work out which team I'm going to support.
It's the Dubs, Gareth. The Dubs.
Well, I'm going to the Mayo Kerry game on the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be quality.
Tickets, yeah.
That'll be a tasty affair.
I've always had a soft spot for Mayo for some reason.
Mayo are like the biggest underdogs in the world. Like, haven't won it, and like they've been so close in the past 5 years. They're good as well.
I like the green and red, so I'm looking forward to that.
Good. Be quality.
Right. So next question. We'll put it. Biggest sporting achievement. So I'm not going to even involve in this question, but guys, what do you think?
Biggest sporting achievement. I'll kick off. Obviously, my background is in football, but I have very little medals to show for all the playing and coaching that I've done, to be honest. So I'm going to veer away from that, and I'm going to say my biggest sports achievement would be run the ultramarathon in South Africa. The Two Oceans ultramarathon back in 2006.
Cool. That's pretty good. Yeah, how far?
Yeah, it was more of a personal achievement. It was 35 miles, 56k around the Cape.
That heat, was it hot as well?
Yeah, I peaked at 35, funnily enough. Was averaging around 29.
God almighty.
So yeah. That medal is proudly on the mantelpiece. I'll never do anything like that again.
Wow, how are you after it? I'd say you were...
Yeah, funnily enough, after it was tough. Like I couldn't. You sit down, you wanted to stand up. You stand up, you wanted to sit down. You know. There was 15 Irish competitors. We had an international tent beside us, and one of the lads he threw me a couple of aspirin, and that just kicked in a small bit and took away a bit of the pain. I just kept walking around and rubbing. I got a physio to jump on then, and that was it. Yeah, but bar that, happy but sore.
Yeah, Jesus, good stuff.
Gaz.
Biggest sporting achievements. Well, my cricket team, we won the league last week.
That's well done.
Recent
I wasn't
one.
Playing but
you were on the team photo though.
We'll be on the team photo, and I'll be claiming a medal for playing 60% of the games, definitely. So yeah, that was good. But biggest sporting achievement, I don't know. Representing my county back home, cricket. I was very proud of that moment. Yeah, when I was younger. So
that's great.
That's probably about it for
quality.
Me.
And yourself, Lorraine?
Me, I guess my sporting achievement, playing at home with my club Mohull.
Sorry. What was that? Mohu.
Mohill. M-O-H-I-L-L.
Oh, right. I thought you said Mohu.
Yeah, no, Mohull. And we won a couple of championships, a couple of league medals. That's pretty much it. A few senior medals in my pocket.
It's great.
Yeah.
Spot on. Well, Connor,
I said I wasn't getting involved in this. mine goes as far as like under 8
3 points you scored that
egg
time.
and spoon race or something like that. Yeah, that 3 points actually I scored, but in the wrong goal. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Egg and spoon is egg and spoon nonetheless, you know.
It's actually the only goal I've ever scored because I always played back, so I'll say that the own goal.
That's an achievement, being back and scoring a goal.
Yeah.
No matter what way.
No matter what way. Yeah. All right.
Excuse.
So I think that is all we've got time for on this week's show. We'll be back again next week. Focus on sports, another Big Ten, and then we'll be catching up again with Connor's question.
So that's it. Until next week. Take care.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Big Dave can put this away. Ireland are through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. He steps up into the back of the net. Oh yeah! Rome, here we come.
And it's Ireland's day. Yeah! 61 years of waiting. How sweet this moment is.
Easy, onto it comes Hope. And Hope with a shot, and it's